Hi, good evening, everybody. Okay, so my name is Kate. So I'm a living legend of that term youth. Okay, tonight I'm not going to claim to be an expert on Celergen. Of course, I'm not the scientist who created it. Okay, but having been around for a while, spoken to the founder, helped many people, well, I'm able to share what I've learned about it. Like a little story of why I'm so passionate about it. So this goes back all the way to 2016. Back then, I wasn't with Avita yet. Okay, and that was my mom, my late mom. That was me, family together on holiday. When I first noticed it, when that was during the trip in Bali, I noticed she was kind of getting a bit weak and frail. Okay, so I think it was a bit concerned because myself, I'm born Ipoh, right? But my mom stays in Ipoh, but I've been in Singapore for like 30 years type of style, right? So my first concern was, of course, if mom is unwell, right, how could I work in peace? So that was when kind of started me thinking that, what can I do for mom? Typical, I go to a pharmacy, you buy all the supplements. Mom, maybe you take this and you take that type of stuff, right? And somebody 7 years ago then introduced me to Celergen, right? Back then, just like you, I was sitting down there, listening to it. And I'll share later what kind of inspired me. Then after listening to it, I decided to give my mom Celergen. I said, well, there's nothing to lose anyway for me, right? So what happened is, wow, lo and behold, that's 2018. She started gaining in energy. At first, I'm a typical engineer, right? I will do my experiments. I let my mom take, and I said, Mom, don't ask me what it is, okay? You just take, okay? So she took. About 2 or 3 months later, she came back to visit me in Singapore. Then my wife was telling me, do you think mom kind of looks a little bit stronger? Yeah, I said I do, but I don't know whether I'm biased, type of stuff. So that subsequently, when we went for a holiday, the friends commented, hey, your mom looked good, for her age and so forth. And that was me, my sister, and my mom on 2018. We were on an Avita trip. And since the inception of that trip in Taiwan, I've always brought her along with the Avita trip because, she has a lot of friends and every year there was a time to renew. And the only time she didn't travel was actually during the COVID. And fortunately, I managed to bring her on a trip to Spain together with the Avita family in 2023. And that was, actually my last trip with her. Right? And, in 2024, February, she actually celebrated her 88th birthday. Well, I'm so glad for that. And my biggest lesson that I learned from that was really this, the best gift we can give our loved ones is really good health. Now, how many of you here will want to give good health to your loved ones? Come hands up. Yep. Sure. I mean, I think that is the biggest gift, Ever since I gotten to know Celergen, I told my mom, I'm not going to give you pocket money, okay? This is my pocket money. I literally send Celergen back to her, every month. Okay, of course, I gave her. And yeah, I'm so glad because I think it gave her that quality of life that, she can enjoy herself. At her age, she could still drive herself. She was playing mahjong with all her kakis. Of course, she always complained to me, her kakis getting less and less, right? From 4 become 3, some car become yi car type of thing, okay? But yes, I think it gave her the quality of life. And for that, I'm so thankful that I learned this, this thing, right? First thing, I'm going to tell you a couple of things, okay? Now, some of you come with expectations now. If you expect to be turned into a kid after the game, then no, okay? There I said the door is there, you can just go back to there, okay? No worries, okay? Yeah, I understand, okay? Now, if you think you're going to turn into Mrs. Universe after taking studies, again, I say no, okay? And for the guys, okay, if you're thinking you're going to look like Tom Cruise after Celergen, again, I will say no, okay? The door is there, don't waste the 45 minutes, it's not going to turn you into any of this, okay? But if today you are looking to, okay, some of these, all of these look and feel 10 years younger, full of energy, radiant skin, happy mood, maybe you are in the right place, okay? You can turn somebody that I know, a very good friend, a doctor friend, into something like this within 4 years, right? Yeah, she always complained that I always make use of her face to say, but yeah, when I see my mom looks younger and things like that, yeah, I always think she's a living test. So yeah, if you are thinking that, hey, I will want some or all of these benefits, then yes, you are in the right place. Okay. There's only one thing you want to remember about Celergen. It's really about this thing called cells. Okay, that's a cell. And you know the wonders of it is like all of us are made up of really 100, well, that's 100 trillion cells, right? Cluster of cells mix different organs in our body. So our organs, essentially, if I go down right to the basic, is about cells, right? And if you think about it, right, in this world, there's only really one disease, right? You may hear all these words about, well, from heart attack, three highs and stuff like that, but there's only really one disease. And then what disease is really when some cells in your body are not functioning properly. Now, for example, if your liver cells are not functioning properly, then you may get a lot of issues related to liver, pancreatics, and stuff like that, related to the organ, right? And if you get, for example, your heart cells are not healthy, then you end up people working with heart disease and stuff like that. Of course, if like bone cells, they may get into stuff like osteoporosis. So you think about it, whatever happens to us, right, it's really about some cells in our body is not functioning properly. So what does Celergen do? Okay, now Celergen works at a cell level. Why do I call it works at the cell level? It's really this. First thing is Celergen protects your cells, right? Celergen has the ability that you will say that, yeah, a lot of things remove free radicals. So free radicals is important. Free radicals is something that's not good for the cells. So just remember, Celergen actually protects us against the free radicals. Okay, now a lot of things will protect us against free radicals too. Now, second thing is Celergen helps to repair damaged cells. So remember, I said that if some cells in your body are not functioning properly, then Celergen has the ability to go in and repair your cells. How does it do that? It does that by just providing very high quality nutrients that your cells can use. It's just like a house. You know, if I have a house over time, some of the things are worn down, but you know, if I bring in new material like bricks, wow, okay, since I get new materials, I can replace some of the old bricks in my house, I rebuild my house becomes healthier again, okay? That's how I repair the cells. And very important, after I repair the cells, right? Cells do replicate themselves. So when you have a healthy cells and the healthy cells replicate themselves, guess what? You should get healthier and healthier. If you're getting better, you should get better, betterer, and betterers, right? Now you might ask, yeah, great, you tell me all these things, right? So what does cellular repair actually end up doing? Now I'm going to show you this photo. Maybe the gentleman at the back. Your venture, I guess. How old he is? Now maybe lady A, just give me a number.
60, I think.
Okay, maybe 60. What about lady B?
I think the same.
The same. Okay. So fair guess. Okay, this happened about I would say 12 years ago in the office, just right out there. So you recognize the windows. That's just 12 years ago. Okay. Not too bad. Lady A was actually 57 years old at that time. Okay. Now lady B, we tend to be very polite and call her Auntie Yo. Auntie Yo was 75 years old. Yeah. So what happened is they actually met on the street. None of them could recognize each other. Right? And then, Chun Gyok, who's the lady on the left, was so surprised to see Auntie Yo looking like, so much younger than her. Now, of course, Auntie Yo invited her to the Avita office and shared with her what Celergen was all about. And of course, Chun Gyok, after listening to her and said, okay, there's nothing to lose. I might as well take Celergen and started on. And this is how Chun Gyok looks like 4 months later. You can see the difference of her getting younger. Right, just like how Dr. Nelly just now, the photos look younger, right? Now, you might wonder that Auntie Yo was one of the very early adopters of Celergen. She actually started Celergen when Celergen was first launched. By that time, she already was on 3 or 4 years of Celergen. Now, shall we look at Auntie Yo of how she aged through? Because people will be interested, okay, if this was 2013 when she first took Celergen, let's see how Auntie Yo looked like subsequently. Okay? This is how she looked like in 2022. 2023. By 2024, she was already 85 years old. And this was just with her in July 2025 at our last award dinner. Right? Amazing, right? Yeah, so, you say, yeah, I know, great. Look at. Now, what happens when we all get a good thing? So Chun Gyok, after taking 4 months of it, felt really good, felt really young and stuff like that, started introducing it to her mom. This is actually Chun Gyok's mom at 88 years old when she first started taking Celergen. And just barely 2 months later, you can actually notice that she looks brighter, she looks more radiant, which was something that I've also observed in my mom, okay? And just look at 2 years later, 90 years old, when Chun Yok's mom, after taking Celergen, you can see the change, right? Not just because she looks younger, she actually looks more radiant, she looks like she has a lot of chi. Why this picture is so significant? Because this was the picture that actually encouraged me to start giving my mom Celergen, okay? I told myself, being a very engineer, I said, look, what is there to lose, right? If it's really that great, she will look like her mom, and then, she preserved like that. At worst, like, no effect. So that's why I decided. That was my first time when I sent Celergen back to my mom. And subsequently, that's why this photo has always reminded me, because this is the photo that actually impacted me and started me. And after that, my mom for the last 7 years after that was just on Celergen. Now you might say that, hey, this thing works great if you're old, then you look younger and younger. Let's look at somebody who started on Celergen when she was really, really young. Now, not a baby, when she was really young. Okay. Does somebody recollect now? We call her Zhongwen. Okay. Some people call her Jo. Okay. She goes by a few names. Okay. And she was one of the very first adopter of Celergen. Okay. 2009, April 5. And that time, nobody knew what Celergen could do. Right? And then that was just 22 days. Okay, 22 days later after taking Celergen. Then you say, well, let's see how she aged through the years. Well, this was her in 2010, starting to look a little bit younger and younger. 2012, 2014. And I will show you the 2025 Joe. There she is, right at the back. You can put that one. Does she look like the same Joe? So yes, Celergen does make you look younger, which is of course, one of the secret of anti-aging, right? So, right. Now the question is, why is Celergen so effective? Right? Only a couple of simple points. One. Now, just how many have watched Iron Chef before? Right? Iron Chef is when all these chefs come out, you are given a bunch of ingredients, the best of ingredients, right? Then everybody compete with each other to make the best dishes, right? So similarly, right? Then after that, then you realize some will cook better than others, some will somehow not cook. So then you wonder where the secret. The secret lies in the person who is the cook. So very similar, right? Number one is, we do use the best of ingredients, and just a secret for you, okay? These ingredients are not available to other people, okay? Yeah. So these ingredients are quite proprietary to us, and they are some of the best in the market. But more important is the Swiss people. The Swiss people, they are known in the market for being one of the people who produce the best supplements. And it's how they blended all these things together that gives it that oomph. Right, so I always call this like the Michelin of supplement. Okay, so we have always retained that. I think we'll say the 4-star for the last 16 years. Okay, first thing is the way it's blended. Yeah, so it's extracted from milk. Now, second important thing is this. Okay, why do we have to process it? Because in Switzerland, the technology to keep the ingredients alive. Okay, these bioproteins, right? I always tell people in the capsule of Celergen, you're going to wash out. This is actually live fish DNA, right? So don't keep it in the sun, okay? You'll be cooking the fish, okay? Now, we all know that supplements that, these bioproteins are very sensitive to heat. And that is why we have to go into Switzerland. I was listening to the scientist who created this. He was explaining to me, you got to use that Swiss technology to maintain so that the efficacy of Celergen is maintained. You don't want to destroy those things by heat. Now, if you ever see your supplements are like powder and so like, those are made by heat process. And in this particular process, we got to send it to Switzerland to keep it at very low temperature. So take note, even those of you who are taking Celergen, it's actually live fish DNA. Okay, don't keep it in the sun. And this is important. That's why many of us who actually take Celergen just take like 1 or 2 for maintenance, and we find that, it's very effective. And finally, it's really this, right? Celergen is not meant to be digested in the stomach, right? The way it's designed is supposed to move all its way into the small intestines, and when it comes out, it gets right into the blood cells, and then it goes there into the rest of the body, and the body starts using it to repair all the cells in the body, okay? Now, all this is, of course, all the jargons and so forth, right? Now, you'll be wondering, okay, now that you tell me this thing's so great, your cells are re-energized and so forth. So what effect does it bring about? So I'm going to start with a good friend of mine, Looks, we call her.
Yeah, because as a primary caregiver, so what do I have to lose by giving mom all the good stuff so that she can live as long as possible? She was 93 when I first started with Celergen, for a very simple reason. She was peeing like 4 or 5 times at night. You know, when elderly, when they wake up, they pee, you have to wake up with them. There's no way in which you go let them go and find their way to the toilet and what's not, right? You better. So I wake up, my helper wake up, we just go lah. 4 or 5 times, and I was working full time at the point in time. So when I learned about Avita oils, apply. When I learned about Celergen, I say, why not? Give it to her. So Avita oils help to reduce the frequency of the pee, but Celergen gave her a good night's sleep. So the good news is, I don't have to wake up, right? She just sleep through the night. The next day, she wake up with vitality, with energy. She wants a coffee at the right time. She wants her bread at the right time. Life goes on very well for me. So as a result of Celergen, I'm very, very thankful for the benefits they've given to my mother, allowing her to live to a ripe old age of 96. So she was on Celergen for 3 years before she passed away. Even at a deathbed, we are still giving her Celergen to keep her going in terms of energy and vitality as much as possible. So last moments before she passed away, she was still aware. So I'm very thankful, for Avita and Celergen and, the joy that he has given to her. Thank you.
Okay, now, if you think Celergen is just for the old ones, okay, even the young ones, sometimes the cells are not healthy, right? So let me just share with you another story that, what happens if the cells become unhealthy for somebody who's young, okay? And I'd like to bring my friend here, Valerie, to share her story. All right.
Hi.
Young.
Hi. So young. Oh, thank you. I wonder how many of you here have watched your child scratching nonstop and then you just stare at her or him helplessly. Well, the reality was for me for many years. My daughter has eczema since young, actually since a baby. So we have tried all kinds of treatment, TCM and skin centers at second home sometimes. It hurts. It aches when you see her hand with open raw wounds from all the scratching. And then she'll be slathering on steroid cream, right? And wrap it up like little mommy, before she goes to bed. So she goes to bed with 2 hands with all the bandage around it. And it doesn't help when she wakes up sometimes in the middle of the night because it's too itchy. She'll be scratching, and then if it gets worse, she goes and pop the Centrizine, the anti-itch medicine. So thankfully, we found Celergen, and I heard people say, "Oh, eczema can work." I mean, it wasn't I didn't want to give her, but she's very difficult to get her to pop pills, no? So we did for joint pain first, but I thought, hey, look, it can help you. So eventually she took it, and within a month, you can see her skin actually, there's less flare up, improved, and within 2 months, I think you can see it for it. She really now has a good night's sleep, no more mommy hands, just a happier, more confident girl, young lady actually.
Okay, if you have loved one with eczema, I think it's worth trying. Okay, I mean, I won't guarantee you that it will solve the problem, but you say if you have tried all the different solutions, like what Valerie has, then what is there to lose, right? I mean, then you can only bring good health to your loved ones. Now, sometimes things like, something more serious like the heart cells doesn't really go that well, right? Over time, it deteriorates. And such was the person, this is actually Dawn, right? Now, Dawn, unfortunately, has issue with the heart.
My name is Donald Fu, and I'm a 70-year-old businessman living in Singapore. I would like to tell you of my testimony about using a product from Switzerland called Celergen, which had helped me tremendously. In 2013, at the age of 63, I realized that I had some serious medical issues. I began to feel tired all the time, and my blood pressure was not at all normal. One was going northward and the other one was going southward. And my doctor was very concerned and sent me to the cardiologist, who diagnosed me with serious leakage in the main valve of my heart. So I realized that things were beginning to break down for me at an early age of 60, and I was quite perplexed about this whole thing because my life was very active. I was a very healthy person, and all of a sudden all these things were happening to me. I took treatment for a little over a year from my cardiologist, after which he said, "It's now time for surgery. Go and get a second opinion." I went for a second opinion from a very famous cardiologist who said he confirmed the diagnosis. I was very reluctant to go for surgery because I have a very good friend in Canada who died on the operating table with the same kind of problem that I had. So I sought many options and I prayed hard, and out of the blues, Alvin, a good friend of mine whom I've not been in touch with for a while, sent me a testimonial of a doctor in the Philippines, Dr. Diana, who spoke of her mother, who at 75 had a whole host of problems. But the thing that caught my attention was that her mother had heart failure, and after taking Celergen, she recovered so well that her doctor could cut down all her medications. So I said to Alvin, if this really works for the heart, I would like to give it a try. Alvin supplied me with 2 boxes of Celergen, and I was just about 2 weeks away from my heart test at the National University. I was quite desperate, and I began to take 2 a day, and then I upped it up to 5 a day. And at the end of 2 weeks, I went for my test, and I passed all my tests. So I didn't have to do a surgery. So I kept taking Celergen very regularly, and every 6 months I had to do a heart test. And until today, my doctor said I'm doing very well, and he said my heart has returned to a normal size, and also the heart ejection fraction, which is a measure of the efficiency of your heart, has gone up from a borderline 50 to today it's a 60. So he said I'm doing very well, and he may not have to do surgery on me at all if I kept up this way. In conclusion, I would like to say a big thank you to my friend Alvin Yong for introducing me to this product called Celergen. It has done wonders for my health, and I feel more energetic and also much healthier.
Now, what gives Dawn that instant faith, just because I saw a video from Dr. Diana? It's really because when Dawn found out that it was a Switzerland product, right? Instantly, when you all think about Switzerland, whether it's Rolex watch or even like a simple Swiss candy, right? You always equate it to what? Quality and safety. Very similar. I'm an engineer being very careful. Okay, so first I said, oh, Switzerland, no problem. Okay, so it was this testament, right? Celergen has more than 40 different lab accreditations, and of course, the most prestigious are all those that is not just manufactured in Switzerland, but it's also sellable in Switzerland. And a couple of years ago, wow, guess what? We actually received a blue hat logo on our Celergen, which authorizes us to be sold in China. Now, for a foreign supplement to be sold in China is not as easy as your think, okay? They tested Celergen for a couple of years, a couple of 100 boxes. They actually run tests on little mice because we do have a little test report that shows. So if you actually buy a box of Celergen in China, it's actually stated down there in words that, Celergen will boost your immunity and also will boost your vitality, okay? To be able to claim that and put it on a box in China is a very big deal, right? Now, the other thing that attests to Celergen, right, being an engineer is really this. If you go and Google right now, nowadays in the world of the internet, there's no such thing as a hidden news. Go and read about the clinical studies that's being done on Celergen, right? And it's these clinical studies that are actually conducted by an independent lab that you can actually read what are some of the benefits that, they have actually validated Celergen to be good for. And it's one of these tests that actually says that Celergen helps people in healing. If you get injured or you're hospitalized and so forth, Celergen has the ability to help you to hasten up or speed up your healing from injury. And such was the situation with one of my good friend, Chong Ping.
I'm a scuba diving instructor, so I'm a very active guy, plays rugby and everything. But I forgot that I have had 6 operations on my knees, 3 on each, even up. The last one I had was when I was about 48. And I thought, veteran in operations, 3 months training, I'm back to active life. I didn't know that the last time it happened, I was in pain for 1.5 years. So I started to live a very sedentary life, put on weight, very listless, couldn't do anything. And one day, a good friend of mine, we bumped into each other on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So he said, "Hey, Chong Peng." And this is the friend that, we did our masters together in UK, sent by the government. And we went skiing in Bulgaria. And he invited me to Avita, and I came. And I said, "What else can you do for me?" My sister refused. The doctor you saw just now, Dr. Nelly Chong, that's my sister. She refused to give me painkillers because she said it's going to affect my brain. I'm going to get dementia next time. Okay. So I came here and Alvin spoke with me and said, "Hey, with the weight that you're putting on and all that, how to go skiing and all that. So why don't you try Celergen?" So it's like, what have I got to lose? So I started Celergen, and one day, 3 weeks later, I was crossing the road. And then the rain came, I ran across the road. And after I ran across the road, I thought I dropped my wallet. It's like, I was looking around the junction, despite the rain. Then I realized, hey, I can run. And I ran across the road. So that was when I started to say, hey, this is actually doing good things for me. It changed my whole lifestyle as well. I had more energy. So I don't advocate that just take Celergen and then you put everything else and don't do, but it changed my whole lifestyle, my sleeping pattern. I got more energy. And I said, no, I don't believe in miracle. Like kid, I'm also an engineer. So I said, 1 year later, I'm going to take part in the Spartan race. It's a 7-kilometer cross country where you climb up and down, carry big rocks and all that kind of things. And I actually did it. 1 year later, I went to take part in the Spartan race. And in my age group, that time I was 50 already. In my age group, I actually came in top 30%. Yeah.
See,
So now I'm a strong advocate. If anybody tells me that you're into sports, young or old, and you get an injury, don't leave it alone. Celergen helps. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Chong Peng. This is Andrew. Andrew, I met him in Cambodia. And when I first saw him, he actually told me, look, kid, if you met me 2 years ago, I wouldn't be like this. Okay. Now, what did Andrew has? Andrew has this thing called bamboo spine. Not sure how many of you have heard of this thing called bamboo spine. Right? Now, sometimes if you see people who's hunchback, type of stuff, you think it's just part of getting old, right? It's actually a condition which is very interesting. The spine starts to calcify and hardens up, and it actually forces you into a certain hunchback position. Okay?
Today I'm standing here to thank Albert. He's the one who introduced me to Celergen. I used to have a big problem. We call the bamboo spine. As 1,000 people maybe have one. So this is non-cure, right? It's generated from part of the DNA. So I don't know, sometimes you see people that walking on the road, when they get older, they walk in this way. Yes. Right? That's called bamboo spine. And it's no curing. Okay? Before I took the Celergen, I used to need to go for injections. Every month every 2 weeks you need to have one injection. It's called EMBREL, E-M-B-R-E-L. You can check in Google. It's some kind of injection to slow down the process of the protein to ensure that the bone will not grow all linked together. So now, like if you don't take the injections, your bone will be all linked together,
Fused together.
just like bamboo. So then you cannot sit, you cannot stand, you cannot make love, and the most thing, you cannot mobility, you can't walk. So then Albert passed to me, I say, I without realize, I just start to take Celergen, 2 tablets every day for 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah, then I see the improvement. I can play soccer.
Can you play soccer? Before that you can't.
Yes. I saw that. It was like, imagine you can run. Now I'm a regular golfer. I play back my golf again. So now I'm stand here. I think I stand a bit straight, not so like last time. Before I go to eat, I went for blood test.
Okay.
Right, I did a blood test. Then after that, I've taken for 6-7 months, I do blood test.
Test again.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Wow. Yes, wow. Thank you.
Right? Now, sometimes when your cells go a little bit rook, right, a bit haywire, it can turn against itself. And that includes your immune system. And when your immune system goes a little bit crazy, it can look at conditions like psoriasis, right? Let me share with you what happened to this Australian farmer called Antonio. Okay, Pauline, please.
Hi, I'm Pauline from Perth, Australia. I want to tell you what happened to my friend Antonio. Antonio is an elderly Australian farmer who has been struggling with severe psoriasis for years. His condition was so challenging that wherever he walked, he would leave a trail of skin flakes on the floor, much to the dismay of his wife. Now his daughter, who had already experienced great results from Celergen for her own health, decided to let him try it. Now remarkably, within just 21 days, his skin began to clear. After about 2 months, the improvement was tremendous. His skin looked and felt so much better, and he himself was overjoyed by the transformation. But perhaps the happiest of all was his wife. No longer did she have to constantly sweep the floors or clean the sofa after he sat down. Now, thanks to Celergen, not only did his health improve, but his daily life at home became lighter and brighter for the whole family. Now, isn't that wonderful?
Well, how many of us know of friends who has stroke, heart attack? Very common, right? Now let me bring a friend forward and share her story. Okay, her story very inspiring. Zhong Eng, where are you, Zhong Eng? Oh, okay. I'm still young. Give me a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the stories. This is my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law about 7 years ago, she got microstroke, so she fell down from mid-flight of the staircase, no, tung 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 down. So she got almost like fractured. But at that time, because of this stroke, affected her mobility. So she became very frail and also affect her appetite. Eat very little. So her weight go down to 38 kg. When I knew about Celergens about 3.5 years ago, I told my husband, must let mother try. So my mother-in-law start trying, because before that she feel she only 38 kg. So when she walks, it's like, I want to fall down one now, not steady. So after a week, wow, the helper so happy. He say, mother can walk well. He say, Nana very good, can walk, so can hold hands and go gardening with it. So now about 3.5 years, she already gained her weight to 45, 46 from 38. So she gained back her muscles mass. So, and also give her energy and strength. So I thanks Celergen very much, because one day when she walked, she carry a walking stick. But normally a walking stick is you don't like, but she carry like handbag. Very cute, because she don't need it, but just in case. So she walk, then the walking stick drop. Then how? She squat down and pick it up without holding anything. So I'm so amazed. I said, before I want to help her, she already quit. So it really, Celergen really helped her a lot. So she, no problem with it now.
You know, I don't know how many of you recognize this book. It was actually written by a well-known ex-reporter of Straits Times called Bertha Hansen. And for those of you who have old folks, you know, you got to look after at home time. So I highly encourage you to really read this book, okay? Because she actually navigate through the whole medical systems, and she actually gives tips on how to guide. So what happened is, I was only friend with Bertha on Facebook. I love reading her articles, right? And then when she blogged about her mom, you know, having a stroke, I had to reach out to her, right? I said, hey, Bertha, you know, I mean, will it be okay if I share, you know, something that will help your mom? She said, sure, yes, you know. Then 3 days later, she actually called me and said, hey, kid, you know, I would like to let my mom try Celergen. I checked with a friend, and my friend said it's actually okay for her to try Celergen. So I went, you know, I went to her home, you know, visited the mom. I taught her how to take Celergen. I also taught her how to use some of the oils and so forth to massage the mom. I taught her helper and all that. Then I was very capo. I said, hey, Bertha, you know, who was that friend that actually, you know, recommended and told you that it was okay to take Celergen? Then I just thought she's going to mention a mutual friend, and maybe both me and I said, you sure you want to know? I said, yeah, sure. I just want to thank the friend. He said, I actually called Yi Gang. You know, it's Yi Gang, the health minister. Well, I said, you on first call with him one. Oh, yeah, I've got all the minister numbers on my phone. Yeah, because she's a reporter type of stuff, right? Well, obviously she was impressed enough with Celergen that she actually put, I mean, she tried a lot of stuff on the mom lah. So she actually put Celergen. I bought some expensive cell renewal from a distributor who took the pain to convince. Yeah, that's me lah. The distributor who took the pain to convince me, right? And yeah, so yeah, since then she's actually been giving her mom Celergen, but she was very cute. Right? She realized that her mom was looking better, right? Then she also become very kaypoh, right? She actually started trying Celergen herself. Then the last time I saw, hey, Pepper, you're looking younger. No lah, this one is makeup lah. I say, no, you actually look younger type of stuff. But by all means, go and the book is available on the internet. Go to that page. Yeah, you can see that small little word Celergen down there. So when we talk about cell therapy, okay, we couldn't help but talk about cancer. That was also the first question I asked. Hey, if Celergen so good for the cells, then you give cancer patient, won't the cancer cells become like super cancer? About 2 years into the launch of Celergen, actually did clinical studies, lab studies, and they did it on 2 types of cancer cells, like liver cancer cells and pancreatic cancer cells. Now, one of the other things that reassured me in recommending Celergen to many of my friends who have seen is also this thing. Celergen has a BSCG cert. A banned substance control group cert is important for supplements that professional athletes take, because it certifies that the supplement itself does not have any banned substance, no drugs, no hormones, right? Which is some of the issues we always face when taking something for, say, China. You buy off the China medicinal shop. Wow, seems to work for your steroid. Then discover that inside got steroids and stuff like that. So, BSCG cert is something that validates it doesn't have. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the whole study, but the studies basically concluded in this thing, bear in mind, it's a Celergen lab studies. It actually slows down liver cancer cells from multiplying. And more interesting, it actually makes the cells remember that what it should be doing, which is this process called apoptosis. Apoptosis is an interesting cell phenomenon where if the cells sense that it is, is mutated or is not normal, it will actually self-destruct. Yeah, it will actually commit suicide by itself. So it's a natural process for the cells to get rid of all the cells which are, not normal. Okay, we call it. Okay, so you can think about it is cancer are cells that has forgotten how to die. Okay, forgotten how to do this process called apoptosis. Okay. Now, they also found that Celergen actually make this particular gene less active, okay? In conclusion, what it just means that it actually slows down the spread of cancer. Now, which is important for people who's undergoing cancer treatment. You want to kind of slow them down so that the treatment has a chance to do its work. And more important, it actually protects the healthy cells against radiation. Okay, there's a whole clinical study that actually shows how effective Celergen is in helping cells to protect against radiation. Okay. Now I'm going to invite a friend here to share her little story here, which I hope will inspire all of you. Come, Christine.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine. So I'm actually quite pleased to be able to share this story of mine with you, because 9 months ago I wouldn't have thought this possible. All right, so towards the end of 2024, out of a routine medical check, I was told that I have not 1 but 2 primary cancers. So, if everyone had been in such a situation before, the moment is both shocking and numbing, particularly because there were no symptoms at all before that. So the surgery was arranged immediately. It took 8 hours by 2 different surgical teams doing the operation together, because 2 primary cancers. And even the blood bank was on standby because they didn't know what's going to happen during the operation. So to cut a long story short, I recovered remarkably well from my surgeries, against all predictions, right? The doctors had expected me to be in hospital for about 14 days, minimally, right? But I was out of ICU after 1 day.
Wow.
I started walking. I could get up from the bed and walk. Day 3, and by day 5, I was declared fit to leave the hospital. So, yeah, that's great considering that I had a major double op. So the thing then is that chemo followed next. I'm just, I mean, I had nausea after each session for a few days, but that's about it, right? My hair is real. I know some of my friends here came up and try and pull my hair, right? So my blood work remained stable and strong. My liver and my kidney function did not suffer. My white blood cells were very okay. And the best news, the bestest news is that in July 2025, 7 months after my roller coaster nightmare, the doctors suspended my chemo treatment because ask me why. Because they couldn't find any more cancer cell activity. I totally attribute my remarkable recovery to the support that Celergen has played in my journey as I fight for my health. I'm deeply grateful the fact that, I knew about Celergen. So thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Now, even doctors love Celergen. Okay, she's actually known as the godfather of plastic surgery, Dr. Lucero. If you're in Manila, you have a who's who. This is the person you would actually go to, to have your aesthetic surgery done. Okay, and this is what he says. He first tested on himself, enjoyed the benefits. The wife started getting jealous because she got better skin than her. Also started taking Celergen, and now Tinette, the wife, is helping Dr. Lucero in her business. And this is what Dr. Lucero always say. Under my hands and my skills, if you're 60. I can make you look like 40 again. But I can never make you feel like 40 again. And this is my last secret to you. And then the Celergen will come out, and then, all our patients after that who's on Celergen, lives a life, of what they should. They look young and they also feel young. And then this is one of the reasons why, a lot of doctors love Celergen. Go Google about it. There are a lot of doctors who actually gush about Celergen. Okay. Now, so Celergen turned 16 this year. I'm very proud to say that for over 16 years, we have not changed our formulation. Like good restaurants, right? 4 Michelin star restaurant, right? If your food is good and consistent. For 16 years, we've been helping people, not just in Cambodia, Philippines. We have helped people in so many countries, helping them improve their health, helping them improve all sorts of conditions, helping the healthy become healthier, and that's really us, And why can we do that? Because of Avita, right? Avita, we are a network marketing company, founded in 2007. And what do? We as distributors, when we learn something good, we share with friends, we share with people about the goodness of Celergen. And we actually found in more than 10 countries across Asia. Big thanks to our CEO, Miss Lee, who actually has this slogan that I very much treasure. He said, life is a gift. Every life is precious. Never take it for granted. And, it is our moral responsibility that if we know of something good, we should go out there to help people. And not just people in Singapore. We are able to help people in all these countries. 700 million people out there waiting for us to spread the word to them and help them gain better health. Okay? Now, how do I take Celergen? Now, these are the different ways of how your different organs regenerate in your body. So very simple, right? Consume 2 soft gels daily on an empty stomach. If you are on any supplements, okay, I highly encourage you to try this. I always ask all my customers to try this. You stop all your supplements and you just test Celergen out on its own, okay? And I always tell people, right? No, if today I stand here sounding very credible, okay? Just give me that 5% of trust, okay? Not much, just 5%, okay? Let Celergen build up the remainder 95% for you, okay? You will talk to you. Now, the other thing is, people always ask me, how long should I assess Celergen? I say, give yourself a good 3 months. Why is that so? Because on average, our body go through one whole cycle or change in 3 months. So let Celergen talk to your body for 3 months, right? You will definitely feel something, right? out of it. So this is a good time to, and just drink lots of water. It's as simple as that, okay? Now you're expecting a miracle pill that, you know, you just take, then tomorrow you'll be looking young again. Then I said, no, okay, probably this is not right for you, because we always say, you know, we take a lifetime to build up some of our chronic health conditions, and then we expect that, you know, if we take this and within like what 2 days, you'll be good again. You know, nope. Okay, so you know, if you're looking for that, no, Celergen is not for you. Okay, but if you are patient enough to give that, you know, good 3 months to let your body go through one cycle of heal, yeah, give Celergen a try. Okay. Now I'm very thankful. 7 years ago, somebody introduced me to Celergen. Right, I think Celergen has really given my mom, you know, allow me to give my mom the best gift there is. Right, so that's why I say, you know, if you are here today or even on Zoom listening to, you know that a friend who cares about you has actually shared Celergen with you. Right, start your Celergen today. Okay.